Hey guys, welcome to Sketch A Day. I'm Spencer and we're just gonna draw and have a ton of fun today. At least I hope so, because you're here and I'm here and I love drawing. And hopefully if you're here, you love drawing too. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you out there. I'm always blown away by the comments and feedback. In fact, what we're going to do today is because of that comment and feedback that you guys give me. But before we begin, I want to remind you, if you have no idea what's going on, you don't know who I am, or if you haven't yet, please hit subscribe, turn on those alerts. Also, you can find me on Instagram at sketchaday.com. Why would you do that? Well, I kind of post other sketches or stuff from life there as well. So if you're ever curious about what I'm up to, you can check that out. Also, I just launched a newsletter at sketchaday.com/newsletter, and if you go there, you'll get a free downloadable full of good tips, advice, things that I've just learned throughout my career that I wanted to share with you guys. So that's a downloadable PDF, completely free. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about page composition, sketching a product, and we're going to have a follow-up video for this sketch today. So grab some pens, grab some paper, grab a marker, whatever you have, and let's get to it. When I think of page composition, typically what I'm thinking of is a way to introduce some variety and interest in the page that I'm creating. So for example, if I were to create a thumbnail or two of a sketch page, and let's say hypothetically we had some objects on this page, and these objects were placed in a way that they're roughly the same size. It's problematic because really your eye and your brain doesn't really know how to process these things. But as soon as you introduce another element on the page that has some variety, whether it be modifying the line weight of that thing, your eye immediately is looking at that one. The other thing we can do is we can add color. So color will attract your viewer to one part of the composition or another. And the other thing I like to play with, in addition to color, line weight, or things I should say, are scale. So if one thing is bigger than the other on a page, your eye, your brain is going to want to focus on that thing. So you combine that with the line weight, color on the object, and you now have some variety in that composition. If you add a background element to these things, it creates an association between these objects. So now object 1 and object 2 are related on the page. So today I thought I would just sketch some scrub brushes, and this will make sense for the next video that I do, but I wanted to start out by just showing you how I might compose a simple page. Now, as always, if I'm sketching something and I'm not totally sure what I want to do, I'll kind of lay out some orthographic sketches, and that just means a sketch that's looking at the object kind of dead on or straight on, okay? So here, simple sketch of that brush, maybe indicate those bristles. I'm not going to draw every bristle, of course, but just enough to maybe show what this thing looks like. And here we can do another view. And you could do this for a variety of concepts on the same page if you wanted, but we're just going to keep it simple. And I'm going to do one sketch now, or one idea rather. Now there's enough on this page actually to use as part of our composition. So fortunately for us, we have these orthographic sketches, and hopefully you have some too. And the fidelity of these sketches, I like to keep lower fidelity, because they kind of help tell the story of the development of the idea. Like, hey, we started out with some rough sketch, and now we have a more finished or polished sketch, for example, as that final sketch. So starting out with these views, you could even start to go into perspective, for example. So sketching 2 ellipses here, and let's go ahead and connect these ellipses and add our details by dividing the form. Okay, like so. Another line, sketching a little bit slower, but that's okay. And maybe your bristles, like so. And you know, what if we want to change this handle shape, for example? Well, I could do another sketch over here, maybe show what this different shape might look like. And don't worry about your sketch being perfect the first time you do it, because there are ways to clean up your sketch as you go that kind of will pull the detail out where it's necessary. So I tend not to worry too much about fidelity, particularly as I'm working in the ideation phase of sketching. Okay, so again, just changing a little detail on the form of this brush, sketching that in. I am using just a simple Papermate Flair pen today. And as always, you want to try and hold your pen a little further up the barrel, and that's going to help with your line quality. Okay, and the more confidently you sketch, the more that's going to show. So be sure to come with the right attitude, if you will. All right, so let's say we have a few of these on the page. So now what I might want to do is consider taking one of these concepts or even modifying the concept. So let's say I'm modifying this just a little bit, like so. Now I have this bigger sketch of the brush on my page, kind of like so. Maybe just some lines to guide us here. And instead of bristles, I'm gonna go ahead and do, maybe there's a way to change this attachment or something. Right, so now we have more of a sponge of some sort. Okay, just like so. All right, and our little grip area, I'm gonna sketch that in as well, add some texture. And now I have a page that has a variety of sketches that vary in scale. So now I can play with line weight. Well, fortunately, I have this fatty brush marker here that I pulled out of my giant bin of pens and markers. And you'll see that as I increase the line weight on this main sketch, that it starts to be pulled out on the page a bit, okay? And again, that's our first trick or thing we're gonna do. Is line weight, adding detail. Okay, maybe it's even some sort of logo that we can add, or text is another way to do that. And that text could be a call out on the page, for example. So it might be a material call out. Say this is some sort of material. We've got another material here, for example. Okay, try not to spend too much time on this page. And then, final step is we can add some color. So, not wanting to overwhelm the entire page. So this won't be a rendering per se, but just a way to show some material and color. And again, you'll notice because of the color, we now have a dominant element on the page. And if I wanted a subdominant element, I could do something like adding gray to one of my sketches, and that would help with the reads, if you will, on the page, so that there's a primary, secondary, tertiary, and so forth in terms of impact or influence, if you will, in the composition. When I do compositions, I do tend to think of the composition like a piece of music almost, where much like any piece of music, you don't want to have the same note repeated over and over. So that's why I try to vary in color, in scale, position, and so forth as I'm sketching. I just wanted to add a little gray here to show the dimensionality of the handle on the brush, but also maybe just a little shadow here on the lip, like so. And just to finish things off, we can even shade in this background on the top. Now, it's going to be a strong black element, but even then, it's really not going to compete with the color as an element on the page, okay? And you don't even have to shade it all the way in. So the black, I just want something to say, hey, these are related. There's a secondary concept up here. So the black will kind of be an element on the page that creates some balance with that major element that we had up above. And there you go. That's how I play with composition when I'm working on my sketch pages, just really quickly to make sure that things aren't too repetitive. And I'll be doing a few more videos like this in the future, so don't worry, this is a brush, but hopefully the concept makes sense. Well, thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for watching. Part 2 of this video will air tomorrow, but for now, make sure you subscribe, turn on those alerts. Hit me up on Instagram, follow me there. Recently reactivated the Facebook page as well, so I've been posting. There's lots of ways to get in touch. So if you have any questions, if you have suggestions, totally welcome those. Thank you for the suggestions, keep them coming, and we'll see you next time right here on Sketch-A-Day.